From the promise once whispered to wounded earth, the ancient lion rises, reminding the wild that healing begins when guardians listen and walk with humility. Each step of the lion presses memory into broken soil, awakening seeds of balance that slept beneath scars left by forgetting and fear. Where forests burned, breath returns slowly, as roots remember ancient songs and life dares to rise again under watchful, timeless eyes. The lion bows not in dominance but respect, teaching that restoration is not conquest, but partnership between spirit, soil, water, and time. As land meets sea, wounded waters remember their rhythm, and the guardian silence allows coral currents and creatures to rebuild themselves. Stillness becomes medicine, and through patience rather than force, the ocean breathes clearer, carrying life forward on luminous ancestral paths, across plains and rivers. The lion's presence restores trust, guiding hunters and herds into a shared rhythm older than conflict. Time circles gently, seasons turning like prayers, showing that true healing is measured not in speed, but in balance sustained. When land and sea finally breathe as one, the guardian steps back, knowing the wild remembers how to stand without command. Thus the story teaches quietly, nature heals when honored, when intervention humbles itself, and when guardians choose to protect, then release. As seeds scatter upon living ground, the wind carries more than pollen, carrying intention, memory, and the quiet promise of return. Beneath the surface, roots awaken together, weaving unseen alliances that bind forests, rivers, and plains into a single breathing body. From darkness, green rises without announcement, proving that life does not ask permission to heal when conditions are finally made just. The lion walks forward, not as ruler, but as witness, allowing the forest to reclaim itself without fear of command. When keystone beings return, balance follows naturally, reminding all creatures that absence, not presence, was the true wound. Rivers clear themselves when banks are held gently, and water remembers how to flow without tearing the land apart. In the ocean's depths, coral rebuilds quietly, teaching patience beyond generations, beyond urgency, beyond human time. At the shore, land and sea reunite, no longer divided by damage, but joined through shared recovery and respect. Above, ancestral spirits align the stars, not to judge, but to observe whether harmony can now sustain itself. Satisfied, the guardian rests, knowing that true restoration endures only when the wild continues without watching eyes. At dawn, the land awakens without instruction, revealing that healing becomes permanent only when life no longer waits for permission to begin. Through living grass and rising wings, abundance returns softly, proving that prosperity grows from balance, not domination or endless taking. In sacred clearings, silence replaces absence, and respect becomes visible where footsteps no longer claim ownership. Seasons pass like prayers in motion, reminding the world that restoration is not a moment, but a commitment renewed through time. Along riverbanks, roots hold fast, teaching water to nourish rather than erode, shaping futures instead of repeating wounds. Predator and prey rediscover rhythm, revealing that harmony was never fragile, only interrupted by forgetting natural roles. Beneath calm seas, great beings travel ancient paths, carrying wisdom older than memory, and seen yet essential to balance. The lion's low call blesses the horizon, not as command, but as acknowledgement that the world now walks on its own. From mountains and sky, ancestors observe quietly, trusting the living to uphold what was once broken. In perfect equilibrium, the wild breathes freely, no longer guarded, no longer threatened, simply alive as intended. The guardian steps aside, and the world proves readiness, as forests, rivers, and oceans continue their rhythms without guidance or fear. Morning teaches gently that trust is restoration. When life organizes itself through cooperation, patience, and limits remembered by all beings, across open plains, movement becomes language, showing how balance speaks through distance, restraint, and shared survival rather than conquest alone. Rivers mirror the sky, reflecting clarity earned through care, as wetlands filter memory and return nourishment to the patient land. Mountains hold stories of endurance, reminding valleys below that stability grows from deep roots and in hurried time for generations. Together, the sea exhales slowly, proving recovery requires space, reduced noise, and the courage to stop interfering long enough to return. Night skies align in quiet approval, not celebrating victory, But acknowledging responsibility now shared between humans and the wild together, wine travels freely again, carrying seeds, moisture, and messages that connection survives when boundaries soften across continents and generations alike. The lion fades into story, teaching that guardianship succeeds only when it becomes necessary for the living world everywhere now. Thus ends one chapter, while the wild continues writing itself. Resilient, responsive, and worthy of reverence beyond myth and memory. Morning returns without ceremony, and the land responds naturally, proving that healing lasts when life moves forward without needing a guardian's shadow. Within thriving forests, wings and leaves guide the wind, reminding the world that freedom is balance expressed through countless small movements across living grasslands, and seeing order pulses gently, showing that harmony does not demand silence, only mutual awareness and shared limits. Rivers cleanse themselves through patience, teaching that restoration flows best when given space, time, and respect rather than force. The ocean breathes in ancient cycles, carrying giants below the surface, unseen but essential, holding memory deeper than any shoreline. Mountains remain unmoved, their roots anchoring history, proving that endurance is built quietly, beneath attention, through generations of balance. Under aligned stars, the world rests briefly, not in triumph, but in responsibility now returned to all who inhabit it. The spirit wind passes freely through land and sea, connecting every living system into one shared, breathing presence. The line appears only once more, distant and fading, reminding us that true guardianship ends when the wild remembers itself. And so the story closes softly. The world continues, not healed by myth alone, but by choices made in reverence, restraint, and care.